The question is, can we ever really get peace after protests? The short answer is yes, but 2020 is unpredictable. We may not find peace until 2021. So it could be a brand new war by next week. It could be Earth versus Pandora, for all we know. So I don't know. People's attention spans are short. I mean, we're not talking about COVID at all for the past couple of weeks.
Wait, listen.
We're going to forget about COVID so quickly. We can get peace quite quickly after this. We don't really need to or want to protest forever.
That's
so we need
question, though. For me, it's like more at what point we're protesting, but to what end, in terms of like, when do we know that now we transition to the next phase?
Yeah.
And like what is our signal? What is our cue to be like, okay, right, so this protesting has brought about this change, and now we can move on to the next bit. That's what we really know.
So now we need to start paving the way for the new normal, and it's going to take a different type of battle. It's a completely different type of battle. I mean, I don't expect there to be much more protests after the next week or so, but then now it's going to take people uniting and planning, and it's going to take work. It's going to take time, but this is where the real work begins, to be honest. I think we made enough noise, to be fair. I don't know
if we have made enough noise. You know what?
Now we need to start doing things now. We've definitely made enough noise. Start doing. So there's been enough disruption for people to notice, and now we can start to actually do something about it. The fight needs to evolve, but the challenge now is to getting the important things done. With, like what I said before, the people in power are not really on our side, really and truly. The people in power, the Conservatives, the Republicans, they're not on our side. So this is where we start to really actually do something. Because I mean, a little protest doesn't really scare them too much. Just send the police to shoot everyone or whatever they want to do. No, so let's put our foot on the neck of this racist global society until it dies.
Until racism dies.
I said foot, not knee, because I'm Jamaican. Right, so there you go.
I agree with you, but you know, like randomly, I stumbled across this post that was talking about the suffragettes, and the suffragettes were women that were obviously out here burning down anything they could, like burning down buildings, like rioting in the streets, just doing whatever for women's rights. And actually, I don't remember the specific timeline, but after they did that for a significant amount of time, the law changed and allowed women to vote. Because obviously before then women couldn't vote, right? And similarly in the civil rights movement in the States, there was a number of riots, a number of protests, so many different things that happened, but not as a result of that, but like the cumulative effect of everything was law reform and change. And to be honest, I agree with you. I think there has to be action. But I think what's missing is that we don't have a unified purpose. And I realized this week on social media, there's like lots of different factions of people who want lots of different things. And I think until we have like a unified purpose, it's going to be difficult for us to know, it's going to be difficult, Lyndon, for us to move together and have action, because I might want to protest because I want to have prison reform. You might want to protest because you want to have, I don't know, you want to stop and search. Angela might want to protest because she wants to have compulsory whatever. Like, I just think there's so many different agendas that Black people and people of colour have. Actually, until we know what we're doing, how are we supposed to know what peace looks like?
Got to unify first.
Yeah.
And then plan, and then do the work. And then wait.
And it's not even about what peace looks like, what success looks like, because success will look like something completely different to everybody. And it's true. I was having a conversation with somebody else, and they were saying, like, actually, there's some people who are saying that, you know what, we want to be recognised and our lives to matter. There's some people in the movement who actually take a different view in terms of, like, actually, no, we feel like we are a superior race, and we want, like, you know, like, there's some people who take that angle. There's other people who want reparations. There's people who just want to be safe walking in the streets. Like, there's different, and there's people who have a preference. It's not one or what each. It's not like either or. I think that's what we were saying. I don't know if we said it in the last episode, but like, every movement needs a leader. It really does, just to channel everything and to know what's coming next. And maybe it's several different issues, but there's a strategy, because when there's just everybody doing, like, there's only so we can agree on marches, but next step, how do we agree what comes next? How do we agree? And to be honest with you, it's asking for unity for everybody, asking a bit too much, because the same, even with, like, we were talking about the suffragettes, even in feminism, there's people who disagree very strongly with the idea of, with different people's idea of what feminism is to them. So it might not even be that everybody has the same idea, and it may not even be that everybody has the same end goal. But we all know there's a bare minimum. There's a level in which where everybody can agree that discrimination in a workplace, discrimination anywhere, like, that's the bottom line. Like, that's definitely what we're all aiming for. I don't know. I really wonder if clear leaders will come out. I know there's people who have actually taken whether in the face of Black Lives Matter in different areas or on the news or stuff like that. But I don't know. I vote for John Boyega. I'm joking.
Yeah. So
you vote for him.
I like him as a mouthpiece. Is he a leader? No. You know why? Because I don't think
we don't really know if he is or not. I think it's safe to say that we don't know. He could be.
Yeah,
he could be. You know what? Let's say that, because I think John is out here trying to do he's trying to do the best that he can do, and why not? That's what we can expect from anybody. I'm waiting on Akala. I want to know why Akala is not out there saying something that I can.
Because he's been saying this forever.
Yeah, exactly. So
saying this.
Yeah, so he is well placed and well versed to be out here saying, refer to, they say, as per my email, he can be like, as per my book in 2018. That's what he can say. Him and David, I don't remember his surname, the historian, the two of them together, actually, I think would be great leaders of this movement. I'm just waiting for them to say, this is what we're doing, and I'm in it.
You know what you can do if you wondered what Akala's thinking, is pick up his book and read it, but we'll talk about what you
excuse me, his book is sold out everywhere. Trust me, I tried to buy it for my brother.
There we go. He's done his work.
I'm not saying he hasn't done his work. I'm saying he is, in my opinion, one of the best people to be a leader, because I think he's exceptionally educated, and I think he's done the work, and I think he's got the accolades to prove it. Hello, his book is sold out. He should be the person in the forefront. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, writing a book, which is a lot of work, doesn't mean that you're the leader. It means that you're definitely a mouthpiece.
But he hasn't just written a book, though, Lyndon.
What else?
He's that Oxford University address.
What did he do? What did he do?
Sorry?
What did he do?
No, I think he's at the forefront of having difficult conversations with people who aren't Black, discussing inequality and racist issues.
So what you're saying is that the movement needs a greater mouthpiece, then, because that's what he is. That's what he is. He's a mouthpiece. Being a leader is a different thing. Being a leader is a person. A leader is someone that sits down and strategizes and unifies and gets an agenda together for everyone. He's actually a mouthpiece. He could be a leader. He could be a leader. He could be, but just because he's written a book doesn't mean he's a leader. It means that he's a mouthpiece. But I'm not. And to be clear, I'm not saying anything disparaging about Akala, because I love his work. But to say that he's a leader because you like his book, I understand, because I love his book. That's not the answer for me.
I agree, and I wasn't just saying he's a leader because of his book. I actually think he's a leader because of who he is. And when I met him, he called me queen, and I fangirled over him, and I was just like, I could not bring, and I was on the phone to Angela, remember?
Oh yeah, you did. You're like, oh my gosh, there's a colour across the road.
I didn't know what to say, and he was so gracious, but I understand what you're saying. So here's a question for you, Lyndon. If you had to, and I know you don't like these questions, but we're going to play a little game here. If you had to choose someone who you think has got the qualities of a leader for the movement, who would you choose, or who would be like in your top three? In history,
the leaders that you're talking about have been people that are mouthpieces. So I know that what you're talking about when you think of a leader is a mouthpiece. That's not what I'm talking about. Martin Luther King was a mouthpiece.
I understand.
Malcolm X was a mouthpiece.
I understand.
So the people that we're talking about now, Akala can be that mouthpiece, but in terms of the person as leader organizing us, those are people that we don't see.
So you're saying that you don't know of anyone?
In fact, why do we want them to be seen? We don't want those people to be seen. Donald Trump isn't really the leader of the United States of America. You know that, right? He's the mouthpiece of the United States of America. The smart people making the plays in the background are not the people that we know. So those are the people that are most important to the black people, because we actually need something to happen, not just a bunch of speeches.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm counteracting is that actually everybody in the world, and if they don't know, they're idiots, sorry, that Donald Trump isn't a leader, never has been and never will be, and he's literally just a puppet, understands that. But there are some people in the White House, and there are some policymakers that people are aware of who are pushing their agenda through Donald Trump, and we know who those people are. So my question isn't, who do you think should be the mouthpiece? Because I think I can talk about who I think should be the mouthpiece. My question is, do you think that you know of anybody who is actually a leader, or who's currently shown that they are strategizing ways for us to unite as a people and actually really tackle this issue? Because they're not all invisible.
There's not a perfect person, because I think what we see now is that people might say they have a strategy, but also they're doing it for a certain amount of clout as well. So it's difficult to actually find one that you can actually trust. Like, for example, Dr. Umar, right, says a lot of stuff that is true, but he does a lot of mad stuff too.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want him to be the leader, would you? Do you know what I mean? You get little bits of a lot of different people, and you're like, there's nobody really that's perfect for it. But I do like people like, and you got to remember, Akala and John Boyega and all those people, the reason they're famous is because, I mean, Akala is a rapper and his sister is Miss Dynamite. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
John Boyega was in Star Wars. There's a reason why those people are visible, because they're famous people in the entertainment industry, and they're the ones that everyone's looking at. There could be someone else that said just as much, it was as impassioned as John Boyega, but because it's John Boyega, everyone saw that.
There's more passion. I don't think there could have been anyone with more passion.
It was great, but it also I love John Boyega. I loved what he did, but at the same time, have you seen his speech on? You probably haven't seen this film, Pacific Rim Uprising. He did a speech on that, and I was like, "Yo, that was powerful." He's an actor. How much can you trust an actor? Because that's their job.
Friends, I see him on his Twitter.
We're not going to disparage
opportunity.
We're not going to disparage him.
I'm not disparaging him. I'm not. But
how
much can you?
Something. Lyndon, say, for example, whatever I'm passionate, for example, let's just say, let me not use that example. Let's just say I'm passionate about Black lives, yeah? But I'm also an actress. If I use my acting abilities to infuse some kind of emotive
speech.
Emotive. I'm talking about when you rile up a crowd, yeah? That just that kind of, if I use that for good, what does that make my passion for that thing less than if I just said it in a very blank way and I wasn't an actress?
No, I understand. No, that could be true. I believe that it probably is true. But at the same time, does our leader have to be an actor?
No.
I mean, I don't think they should.
There's any other option, Lyndon. The conversation started with, who can be our leader then? You told us that these people are mouthpiece. Who can be our leader? Well, are they just anonymous? You don't know them because they don't want to be known. The other conversation, okay, right. I have a note for the leaders. Leaders, as much as you have to be anonymous, you can't be anonymous to everybody. So make yourself known to those who are looking for leaders for the Black.
Present yourself.
The Black Lives Matter movement.
But guys, can I just ask a question, Lyndon? You really can't think of anybody who could be a leader?
I think the people that I'd think of would be the people that you'd think of, but I don't think that's the end of the story. I think you got to think deeper than just that. That's what I'm saying. So I don't have the answers because I haven't thought of it that deeply. But the obvious,
I can write a strategy, to be honest.
The obvious people are Akala, John Boyega, anybody like that said something already. Yeah, they could be the leader, but you got to think a bit deeper than that, and I haven't done that.
George the Poet looks like he's someone who's in the public eye.
Another entertainer.
Yeah, he is an entertainer. But is it fair to say he's an entertainer? I would say that he's a thinker. I don't think he'd say he's an entertainer.
You can be both.